Number 4, you don't accumulate high balances on your credit cards.
That's huge.
You don't. So this kind of leads into, we have clients all the time that come to us and they have, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 credit line, credit limit on their credit card. And maybe their goal is, I want the points or the miles.
Yep.
And, so I can just use everything. I use my credit card to pay everything every month. But that's okay. I never carry a balance. I've got a $5,000 limit. I charge $4,000 a month. But as soon as I get that bill, I pay it off. So I'm good.
Exactly.
Are you good?
You are definitely not good. Now don't get me wrong. There's ways, I work like I'd say, like I brought before, a lot of business owners I work with, they want to maximize on points and miles and all that. There's a lot of benefits, right?
Sure.
But you want to be strategic about it. So what's important to understand is your payments are not what's reported to the bureaus. It's not your payments. That's the reason why if you ever look at your credit report and you see the first ding on there is 30 days, right? Oh, right. You were late 30 days. Well, that's because when that company generated a new statement, hey, you're delinquent. You didn't pay us last month. Ding, 30 days.
Yes.
So it's not your payments. It's actually when they generate your billing statement. So if you are, in your example, I got $5,000.
Yeah.
I spend about $4,000 a month. They generate that statement and say, hey, you got $4,000 balance out of $5,000, minimum payment of $180.
Yeah.
You paid off in full. The reality is that's going to report showing $4,000 out of $5,000 as if you're over leveraged, higher ratio, which is a negative impact to your FICO credit scores.
It is negative.
Big time. It's 30% of the score.
30% of your score
it's
is based
a third
on
of the
balances.
pie.
Yes.
That one thing. So it can really hurt someone. It can really harm someone in their credit because what if they're doing that with multiple accounts? Now let's say we have like 50,000, like your business. I bring a business owner again because this really happens a lot with business owners. You got $50,000, multiple lines, right? You're using them for business expenses, marketing, all these different things. And to someone else's point, they asked about how do I get more business credit without it with my personal? Well, once again, they're going to pull off your personal until we get enough. Well, then what you want to do is, if you look at your billing statement, everyone is going to have something called the billing cycle date or end of statement date. You want to pay off that balance down to a low ratio. I wouldn't do 0. I'd actually do 3%. That's the golden number, 3%. Pay it down to 3%. Few days, so it actually goes through. The payment's got to go through before the end of that cycle. Then what happens is when they generate your bill, now that balance is only, let's say, $300, right? Now it reports how we want it to report, but you're still using it and maximizing on those points.
So if you paid it off every month before the billing cycle, does it show any type of activity? Like you said, you want to keep 3% on there, but if it's paid off before the billing cycle, it's reported as 0 every month. Does that then show no activity, or does it show it?
So that's why it's so important to 3%.
Keep the 3%. Got it.
Because 0 isn't necessarily bad, but it can be over an extended period of time because now it seems inactive, right? We're maintaining zeros. But 3% is a very powerful number.
Awesome.
Because all the different FICO algorithms, 3% is always going to put you in the best position to maximize score.
Awesome.
It's going to appear active. You're going to have low balances compared to what's available. I mean, it's like a dream come true for most lenders when they see that.
Yeah. Higher the score, more options.
Exactly.
Number 5 on our list. You are piggybacking off a family member's good credit. Jared, you and I talked about this a little bit before the show began. This has changed, but for mortgage purposes, this can still be helpful. What does that mean? You're piggybacking off family members' good credit.
Yeah, so I would say that with what you did for your family, for your daughter, is extremely powerful because you're teaching your daughter about credit, about money management, understanding what it means for lending, right? That's extremely powerful. And so I would say that there's a lot of benefits to that, especially if you're a parent out there and you have a kid that's growing up, right? They're 18, they're going to college and all that. Teaching them these things is very important. One thing that people have done, parents have done, is they'll add them to to their credit cards as an authorized user. And so a lot of companies will then report that to that person's credit report as well. And so that can benefit them, right? With adding on that account and good standing, like the credit history, all that. The one thing that's important to understand, those things have changed just because there are people that abused that outside of what we're talking about. And so they would the sell trade lines and say, hey, we'll add you on if you pay us money and things like that. So you want to avoid that completely because that's completely unethical. And here's the deal. All the newer algorithms, a lot of them factor out authorized users now because of that.
Sure.
However, most mortgage, because it's an older algorithm, still do. And so I would say that that can be beneficial for someone in your case.
Yep.
When you're really teaching your kid good habits, understanding, right? I think that's very good. But I always let people know that if they're looking to do that just for the sole purpose of boosting their score, well, that's not going to work as much anymore.
Yep.
And it's more about building your own in your name. That's going to give you the most power overall.
Number 6, your auto schedule, or you've auto scheduled your monthly bill payments. And so that's talking about your mortgage, your car payment, anything that you can set up on an auto schedule to pay is really smart. Look, it's very, very likely and possible that at some point you're going to get a bill that gets mailed to you, and maybe it doesn't get to you for whatever reason. If you've got that auto pay set up, even if it's just auto pay minimum, you can always go in and pay whatever you want, but then you don't have to worry about potentially, missing a payment or having a late payment, because it happens. The bill doesn't get to you.
Yeah, I think, that's a great point. I am a huge advocate of scheduling, your payments auto pay. I feel like, based on everyone that I've worked with, my history of working with clients, a lot of times people are hesitant to do that because they're worried, well, will the money be in there when it gets pulled automatically? And so that just comes down to, well, we need to better our relationship with money and create a spending plan. So we have more awareness of what's coming in versus what's going out. That's how we solve that, because you want to protect, I think that everyone's realizing that more and more and more. You want to protect your credit.
Yes.
If you have good credit, we need to keep it good. If we need to build it up, let's get you there and let's keep it good. Best way to do that is to do certain tactics to maintain that, to know that your payments are on time, you have more awareness and all that.
And number 7, you check your credit report regularly. So you have a credit monitoring system, which I have. I love it. It gives me updates throughout the month. If any activity is on there, I get notifications. I know you guys are a big believer in this. Who do you use and who do you recommend for monitoring your credit?
Yeah, so we have partnered directly with Smart Credit. So you just have to go to smartcreditvip.com. We have a partnership with them where we you get all the bells and whistles for a discounted rate, which is really cool.
That's great.
So it gives you the ability to pull a full 3-bureau detailed credit report every month, so you can do a full evaluation. It also does monitoring, so it's monitoring your bureau. If there's anything new, any changes that you need to be alerted of, it's going to alert you throughout the month. And then the reason why I really like working with Smart Credit is they have a money manager piece. And so you can sync up your account, and it will help, and also your credit cards and everything, to better inform you of the changes happening. So like to the point we talked about earlier, with the scheduling auto pays, what's nice is an additional alert when those payments are being made to keep you in the loop to know. Because, there are times that maybe a payment didn't go through for some reason, right? Well, additional alerts will help you because you want to make sure that if it does get missed for any reason, you get that paid and you don't go 30 days late. Because once that happens, there's a significant negative impact. So having that awareness of your credit, how it's changing, your money, your payments, all in one is huge.
Well, and it can happen, right? I mean, I've gone in, so that the bill pay through my bank, I've gone in, I fill it out, and then I hit one button that takes me to another page. That's the actual submit button. And, I'm multitasking, which I shouldn't do when I'm paying bills.
Here comes the old man going, I don't understand how computers work these days. I set up the auto pay.
I set up the auto pay.
And I didn't hit the button, and it didn't go through. And thankfully, it was a card where they send you an alert and say, hey, you didn't get you didn't send your payment, so there wasn't a 30-day late. But it happens, and so this is it's a
more
great
awareness,
way
the better.